Scorpio, so I'm hearing Sonic or Gin and Tonic. So is it Oasis? But someone that drinks quite a lot has got an alcohol problem. You or someone around you, or you work in a bar or a restaurant, but something to do with around a cocktail bar. So Tom, anybody's called Tom or Elizabeth. But I've been working in a cocktail bar. I don't know, something to do with alcohol. Cigarettes and alcohol, someone that drinks quite a lot. Or you've realised that Oasis are now reuniting or something like that. You're trying to get tickets for Oasis. Anyway, let's see Scorpio. Let's see Scorpio. I don't think you'll stand a chance if you want Oasis tickets. Let's see. Have you not heard they're playing in Wembley? Anyway, let's see. Next year. Scorpio. So, Queen of Wands. 2. One day I feel okay, the next minute I don't. 1 minute I'm working, the next minute I'm not working. Or is this a working relationship that someone has? This can either be a third party, but it is someone also at work, like a Piscean. Okay, this is also employing someone. Let's see, Scorpio. It's not really telling me too much, isn't it? Scorpio. Scorpio. So you got another 3, and you got another 3. Really? This only came out quite a little while ago, where I had 3 3s in a row. Third party situation, someone that works at a distance. Some of you may be with someone that you like, that is with someone else, or they like you, but they're already with somebody, but the commitment that they're going through is on rocky grounds anyway. Some of you have split up from the person that you're possibly with. If you've split up, there's no contact here whatsoever. Or the name Trevor or Tracy, Treacle, anybody's got T in the name. But there's no contact here. This is like getting over something. Let's see, Scorpio. 10 of Cups, but I'm happy anyway. I don't know. The Tower is like, is it really worth working on this? Is it worth starting over again and doing the same thing? Because I'm just picking up a lot of distance between you and this person here. Some of you, there's work that you have to travel to work. This is like working and then traveling to get to work, which most people do anyway. But yeah, no commitment is what I'm seeing here. More grieving energy, getting over somebody. But there's no getting over that rainbow when the smallest of dreams won't come true. I can't take all the madness the world has to give, but I won't last a day without you. What is the Queen of Wands for Scorpio? So 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is... Yeah, there's possibly a lot of like being emotionally unfulfilled. The other person can't seem to fulfill the other person's emotions. There could be someone here that is an employee that is suffering through money. No money, okay. Needing to pay child maintenance bills and everything and can't keep up with it. Or the name Bill. But this is also like emotionally unfulfilled circumstance within a connection. Or a couple. What is the 2 of, or Laura? 2 of Wands. The Hermit. Yeah, there's gaslighting energy here, confusion, cutting someone out, cutting someone off. Yeah, I'm kind of picking up more gaslighting, to be honest with you. What's the 3 of Wands? 3 of Pentacles. I really can't seem to read this morning. The Magician and the Empress. Wow, you got another 3. 3, 3, 3, and 3. Someone's got to have quite a lot of Pisces in their chart, or possible life path 3. This is starting over again. Someone's focusing more on their business and their work than what they are in a relationship. They're just more worried about their money. So you've obviously got a possible feminine that is feeling emotionally unfulfilled because you're not feeling my emotions. And the other one's kind of like, fuck it, I don't really care. I'm just going to work anyway. So I'm just going to get on with work here. What's the World here for? Another 3. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3s. think you've got nearly all of them out. So, toxic third-party situation, divorced, separated. I mean, I'm not actually picking up that anybody's actually with anyone here. I'm just picking up like a possible breakup between a couple that are no longer together, and then someone that's actually got like a fetish for someone else. They're sort of like single, roaming. Or the name Rona. What is the Three of Swords? Sexual gratification. Instant gratification. Someone that just comes around for sex. Possible. Communicating online here. So flirtatious behaviour. If you are actually with someone, the Queen and the King of Wands, like if you are with them, it's a very on and off type sort of, we see each other now and again. It's not very often that we actually get to spend time with one another, but because I think that this can also be like cigarettes and alcohol, where the first message was to do with around, like I said, drinking, alcohol, bars, restaurants, drugs, all that sort of stuff, under the influence basically. And that can actually be the couple that are together, but the family are not. The family don't get on with this person, because this is also coming up and showing me as like family, right? And the family don't agree that someone should be with someone. So you've got like boundaries that you have to put up against, like people saying, oh, they're no good, blah, blah, blah. They're drinking, they're taking drugs, they're taking alcohol, or keep getting back with this person all the time. All you ever do is get back with them, and then you split up, and then you get back and you can't seem to get on the same page, or Elaine, okay, or Laura or Lucy. But you're always separating, you're always fighting, you're always going through this same thing over and over and over again. And it's like a hell loop, just going over it and over it and over it and over it. And there's no getting over this rainbow. It's just because it's like we're happier apart, but then all of a sudden we get lured back into one another again, karmically. Saturn energy of the devil. Okay, that could be for some of you where you're constantly breaking up and possibly getting back together. Some of you are just connected to someone that you're not even talking to. I don't know how long that's been. And there's just more of a getting over it and a karmic awakening. Ex-husband, wife possible. And then some of you, this is where this leads into like a physical, metaphysical. There's a couple here that were together, but they broke up, distanced themselves, and the family are against them. And then there's a new person kind of here that someone's connecting to, but the one they're connecting to is actually still with this person. But it's very toxic, because I believe there's possible drugs and alcohol involved in the couple that are together, and that's what kind of keeps them apart. And that is also what the family disagree against, saying, why are you with someone that constantly is always drinking, taking drugs, they're not in their right mind, blah, 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 so on and so forth, right? So they're not really concentrating on a relationship. They're just concentrating on what they can get. That can be money, can be like a freeloader possible, only wanting money, only wanting drugs, or money for drugs and stuff like that. Not saying that all drug addicts are at fault, because when a person's a drug addict, they're very codependent. So to have a relationship and an addiction is extremely impossible. So that is suffering for a couple that are together. And then, like I said, there's someone that is hopeful and connecting to one of these people at this time that's kind of there for someone. Okay. Let's see, Ten of Cups. The Lovers. The King of Pentacles. See, there's two men and one woman. So it's kind of playing out like I've just gone over. There is a couple that are together, but see, because this is not a man, it's men. This is not a woman, it's women. And this is not a man, it's men, right? So there's a lot of involvement of family. Your family, their family, mother, father. Could have children together, but I'm not seeing children, but possible. There's also this sort of like energy of a couple that just constantly keep going through the same old thing over and over again and breaking up all the time. possibly hook up once and for off, maybe with a Captain Hook. Could be a Pisces or a Capricorn. But they hook up together and they possibly have sex now and again. But there is a flirtatious behaviour between the new people, which is the king and the queen. They flirt whilst someone's in a connection. They flirt with one another. What's the Tower? The Four of Swords, very tiring and draining. Some of you could, or someone here could also have ADHD, are very fatigued, very tired and fatigued, finding it very difficult in order to find the strength. This is also like, can't be bothered to communicate. Like, I'm so sick to death of communicating with someone, I just kind of want leaving alone. And the other person's kind of picking up on that and thinking, well, I'll just leave you alone then if you can't be bothered to communicate. And the Eight of Wands is more of a, like I said, it's not saying there's communication, it's just saying that I can't be bothered to communicate because the energy is just too dynamic, which means that if we talk, we're more than likely going to shout and scream at one another. So we best not communicate and we best not talk, because this can be an avoiding energy of talking to someone that can have a sharp temper. So instead of arguing, let's just not bother, right? I mean, me personally, I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart, and I don't. Pisces, I don't like arguing. I just don't. I don't know why some people think that you must argue out all of your faults, but some people love to argue all of the time. I just don't like it. I do avoid people that argue. I find it a complete and utter waste of time. If someone's angry and you're going to talk to them, there's no getting through to anybody when they're angry. So there's no point in talking when someone's angry. And if they are always angry, then there's no point talking at all, because you can't ever get through to someone that's always angry, right? So you find yourself in these circumstances where you end up avoiding the circumstance, because every time you do bring it up, you end up bringing it up, does it end up back at square one? So you end up avoiding the whole subject altogether, which makes you feel distant from this person, because there's no talking, there's no getting through. Nothing here actually represents talking. It does actually represent a possible couple going through a hell of a time of things really not working out and family being involved and exes, court-related stuff and like social services of the baby mama trying to fight for custody of the child and that kind of thing. But it definitely also means separated from that person as well. And if you don't have children or anything like that, and there really isn't a third party, then it's basically just a breakup. You're not together. You can't be bothered to communicate. You're avoiding one another. You're not exactly avoiding the lesson. It's just that what constantly keeps getting reflected back to you is just rebounding off you of just like, well, I'm not listening to that shit. And it's like, well, I'm not prepared to listen to that either. So you're not prepared to put in the work. Well, neither are you. Okay, so let's both not bother putting in the work towards it. Let's just avoid it altogether. It's that. Okay. Some people believe that, it depends on what you believe in, on people's strongness of what they believe, but that you're supposed to put the work in to change for me. But why should I need to do that? Because you're supposed to love me for who I am at the beginning. You loved me at the beginning, right? So why don't you love me now? Don't say that I've changed, because I haven't, because people can't. So they're not a transformer. Okay, so you get people that ignore what they don't really or can't. A lot of people, when they ignore change, is because they realise that they can't actually change that about themselves. They can't. So they get put in these circumstances that, like, you're constantly trying to change me for who I am. People can change, right? If you're an addict, right? If you're an addict, you can change that. Right? You just, you have to go through a hell of a time of detoxing and alcohol. You have to stop drinking alcohol, right? But you can do it. You can change your life. Will start to change when you stop drinking alcohol, but you will still be Tom, Dick, or Harry that comes out the other end of it, right? Let's see. There could also be a lot of arguments going on about money and finances here. Let's see. Scorpio. ADHD. I told you I felt this energy of ADHD here. Fatigued, tired, So I would say that you've gone through this where someone is blaming the ADHD person, possibly, depending on what type of ADHD they have. Mine is basically more fatigue than anything. I don't really get hyperactive anymore. I used to when I was a child, but as I got older, and I'm now nearly 50 years old, my hyperactiveness is gone, and I'm now more fatigued than anything else, tired. So you could have someone that's constantly tired. Some people that also have ADHD, they do form very big dependencies on drugs. Okay, so you could have that kind of. Me, I don't drink or do any drugs at all, but I digress. Some people could. Okay, but ADHD, I stay away from everything, me, and I just have to put up with it. I'm not. I don't get tablets and stuff like that for ADHD. I just have to put up with what it throws at me, and for me, mainly, it's mainly fatigue and tiredness. But I'm going to stay with my partner. So there is a couple that are possibly here that constantly go through all of these codependent, seeing each other now and again, drinking, drugs and alcohol involved. It could mean the couple that are together are codependent on staying with one another because they're both codependent on alcohol or drugs or both. Okay, which means my drinking partner or my, here. Some of you could just be metaphysically connected to someone that is not leaving their partner. They're just staying with you. Let's see. Scorpio. Nearly forgot what sign I was doing then. Marriage. Well, I'm not seeing any fives. I mean, like I said, if someone is married, if they are married, I don't know why they're together. Because, wow, I mean, this could just be a whole reading of someone that's metaphysically connected to a couple that get on really well. But if they are in this reading as well, which means if they have Aries or Scorpio or Life Path 4 in their chart, because I read in numerology, this reading is for them as well. It's not actually showing a very good connection that they are in either. Scorpio, I am not letting you go that easy for holding on to someone for dear life. It's also not letting go of the ego as well. Like, I'm not letting go of the ego or what you've done to me and blah, blah, blah. It's still like an ongoing type sort of energy here. It could be someone that's refusing to let the other person get a divorce, and I'm not letting you get a divorce, or I can't get divorced, something like that. But marriage can also mean that they live together, but they're not married, which means that they are common law marriage, husband and wife. Okay? Something like that is stopping this kind of connection from coming. Like I said, man, you can have a connection with someone, but it doesn't always mean that they have one with you, unless it's discussed. I have a connection with you. Great. So do I with you. Brilliant. Why can't we be together? Because I'm with someone. Right. So what do? Talk, not talk, or ignore each other? Well, we can still talk. Right. But, the connection and the relationship has to be established between two people for two people to actually have an affair or anything like that. All right. So that's what I've got for you guys. Oh, God, you've got the 9 of Wands under here. So someone's really struggling around narcissism and gaslighting, possibly being lied to or something here. Okay, so not all gaslighting is lying. Okay, it can also be avoiding lessons of my own and then projecting the blame of all putting it on at someone else. It's all your fault. The reason this goes wrong is your fault. Everything that goes wrong, no, I'm avoiding that. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. Right? So if none of you accept blame, you just get nowhere. Okay? So that can also be very gaslighting, because it's telling someone that this is wrong with you, which is what you shouldn't do, is make a person feel as if there's something wrong with you and that's the reason why this doesn't work. That's why it doesn't work. It's because you feel attacked. Okay, it's normal primitive behavior by human beings. So there you go. If you would like to see this ahead of time, this probably came out 3 or 4 days ago on the join button below. Okay, so it's only $3 or $4 for you to join, but I have to earn money somehow. So I do them in advance, and then they end up, some of them, not all of them. Gemini, unfortunately, if you're a Gemini, I can't put them out on YouTube anymore because there was only 300 people that watched it and more people unsubscribed than subscribed. So it's not worth me doing it. So Gemini, Pisces, other readings, Sagittarius, there's quite a few others that only are on the join button below. So there's only a certain few that come out on YouTube now. So if you would like to see all of those, then you can join below. Thanks very much, guys. Really do appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.